What up, what it do? It's your boy K.Barz, and I'm here chilling with
Larry Fink.
And this is the Helluva Podcast, and
it's been a hell of a life.
It's been a hell of a life, and we're back. We're not dead. We're not gone.
Nope.
It's just kind of
comatose.
Yeah. I think the best way to describe it would be, my man Seth Rollins rebuild, redesign,
But the life support machine is over there, though, in the corner.
So,
next to our caskets.
Yeah. So, man, what's been up, Fink, man? What's going on?
Chris, just games been out. Games are coming out. Games will always be out because that's the way games are. Yesterday was Assassin's Creed, Mario, and Wolfenstein. I don't have a Switch. I have dropped out of Assassin's Creed for some time now. I might get back in Origins later on, but Wolfenstein has been my thing for a while. Especially with the new ones, because these have just been the best in terms of story writing and whatnot. Just it feels Quentin Tarantino-esque. But the new Colossus is a sequel to The New Order, which was like a soft semi-reboot, but still within the continuity of the Wolfenstein universe since Return to Castle Wolfenstein. And this is the first Wolfenstein game that has been a sequel within a developer's house, and it's only been 4 hours. I plan to stream more later on in the month, but it's all been pretty damn great, and I wish I get more into it, but too soon to really say anything, I feel like, about it. Other than that, finished Evil Within 2 on the streams. Other games I'm looking forward to still are relatively coming out soon. Despite there's not much left in that whole entire fall season. Still got Call of Duty, still got the Battlefront, still got oh man, I can't think of anything else other than those two games. But I mean, aside from that, can't wait for the spring.
Have been watching any TV shows or anything?
Stranger Things 2 season 2 just came out. I watched 3 episodes with my little brother and sister. I can't say little anymore. They're in late teens, though. Like my younger siblings, I should say. And that's been going all well. A little bit of a slow build up to things, and they're like, oh, here's this thing, that may lead to something. You don't know. Oh well. And it still does that Stranger Things thing of like, here's several people with their own little arcs, and they're going to cross over into each other's arcs throughout the whole entire series and whatnot. Other than that, I've been watching movies here and there. The last two movies I watched, actually, was Blade Runner, the final cut. I watched that before I watched Blade Runner 2049. Man, if you want to spend a whole day watching movies where majority of nothing happens, those are the movies to watch. Aside from that, I mean, you look around, like, even though it's not much happening on screen, it's still a cool looking environment and world that I still wish was more explored at the end of the day, to say the least. But yeah, that's more or less been my weeks and my anticipations. So how have you been doing, K.Barz?
Man, just getting personal affairs in order. Finally got me my own place.
Congrats.
I know, right? We're talking.
I wish I can clap, but I think it'd be bad for audio.
We're talking here right now, in the living room of the
golf claps
of the new K.Barz, lair, as well as the Helluva HQ.
Up in the high rise.
Yeah, we got a nice little lakeside view.
Look at those ducks.
Yeah,
doing their thing.
Fuck
off, geese.
Yeah. Other than that, as far as like movies, kind of been, I've seen Spider-Man, Homecoming. I was kind of late on watching it, and I did.
Better late than never.
Right. It was good. It was like an old episode of Spider-Man.
It's probably the best Spider-Man out of all of six. Unless you want to count Civil War for that half personal freaking 20 minutes.
I think probably it's like the third best Spider-Man movie.
That's something to think about now.
It's not better than the first or the second. Those first two Spider-Man movies
I think it's better than the first, but I definitely like the actor. He looks like a kid. That's the most important part.
Just been doing my fantasy football. I'm actually third in my league, 4-2.
You don't have Aaron Rodgers in your team, do you?
I did. He got injured. I traded one of my late round picks and picked up Derek Carr.
All right.
who is arguably the MVP this season. The way he's been playing.
Good to hear. I don't follow sports. I think that's good.
Right. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Hey, somebody's got to do what I do, but I'm third.
I'm sorry for the person who traded it for you.
Yeah. Oh no, he's got about 7 picks in the first 5 rounds.
All right. So you can compensate for the loss, I guess.
Yeah, he's one. He's got his team is like 1 or 2 wins. That's my cousin, and he's been trading all his good players for picks because he's like, I'm not going to win this season, so I might as well start trying to go for next season. Because this is like our 6th season, 6th or 7th season, and we play for money. Like everybody puts up $20 and wins.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean,
yeah, so
all good fun money.
Yeah, so he's like, I'm going to invest into the next season because I'm playing next season.
All right.
So I'm, hopefully I can. I'm a contender. My team is pretty decent. I got Todd Gurley and Melvin Gordon. And the thing about Todd Gurley is I didn't draft him. I traded him in a great trade. I traded him for Garrett Blunt and Jordan Reed. Kind of got good on that trade. I know you probably like, wow, I don't know what that means, but it was a good trade. It's a great trade to offense.
Those are people with names that play a sport.
Yeah. Other than that, okay, so I just realized, as you know, I have Amazon Prime. I talk about it all the time with these guys. I'm like, hey guys, if you want something, let me know.
Prime is good.
I have Prime.
Prime is life.
So I just found out that Prime has its own streaming, like Netflix.
Yeah, they bought Netflix. They bought Twitch a while back. They also have Audible, and they also recently bought Whole Foods.
Yeah, so I didn't know that.
I never shop in a Whole Foods.
I didn't know that Amazon had their own streaming service, so I got it on my Xbox. I got the Xbox app, and since I have Prime, I'm able to watch free stuff to stream on Prime. So I've been checking out stuff on there, and they have the Batman animated series from the 90s, the cartoon one.
Yeah, the premiere of one of the most major characters in the Batman universe, Harley Quinn. Right,
and she premieres in that series, in that whole entire series.
Yes,
and it's the complete series. So we go from Dick Grayson to the immediate Jason Todd skip to Tim Drake.
Yeah,
and I like all the episodes. That's probably. Batman is probably one of the greatest cartoons. Well, that's probably one of the greatest cartoons. It's won Emmys. Besides that, I've been watching Roseanne. Don't judge. I love Roseanne.
I
used to watch it as a kid. Funny show.
You can't say no to John Goodman and Roseanne.
Right, John Goodman's great. Yeah. Well, I've been watching that, and other than that, movies. Rewatched Magnificent Seven. I watched it before. Didn't really get. I had so much going on. You ever watched a movie and had so much going on that you didn't really get to watch it like you wanted to? And like you got people talking to you or people coming over, calls and texts. So I finally got to sit back and watch it. It's a pretty good movie. I feel like
this is the one with
Denzel Washington and Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt, that was the name I was thinking of.
Yeah, I watched Star Wars and they got a whole entire Indiana Jones collection, so I've been watching Raiders of the Lost Ark, and I've just been watching a lot of movies as well as video gaming. I'm a big basketball head, so I do have NBA 2K18, and I'm not going to spoil. I've been playing another game, but I can't play it anymore until it's released. I have to play the beta for that, but we'll be talking about that later. And just to segue into that, speaking of the beta, the game was Star Wars Battlefront 2. So we can talk about Battlefront 2 and expectations for that.
There's thoughts.
I pre-ordered the deluxe edition for it. Got to play the beta 4 days early. I like it. I never played the first one. It's one of the big it's on the list. If I get 2, it's going to get X'd off the list of games that I don't want to play.
Yeah, because
there's no point. But there's a list of games. This is off subject, and we're going to get back to Star Wars. But there's a list of games that I haven't got to play for my Xbox One. Yeah. Dying Light is one. Metal Gear, the latest Metal Gear game that came out.
Oh yeah.
I haven't got to play that.
It's for those of you who have PlayStation Plus network. That's free for the month of September. get that while it's still there until the first month, first 2 days of September.
It's a nice little list of games that I haven't got to play. I did get the Evil Within, but I didn't get to beat it, or because my heart
the
first one.
The first one.
Because my disc reader stopped working, so I was buying games digitally. So I didn't. That's another game I didn't get to play.
All right, yeah.
The Wolfensteins, I kind of want to check those out, and I'm not going to get to if I haven't played the first one, because I'm pretty sure the story is continuational.
It's continuous, yes.
Yeah, those two, and then the Far Cry's. I feel like I need to get back onto the Far Cry's, because I loved Far Cry 3.
Oh, yes.
And for the 360.
The most memorable villain I can think of was Voss.
Yeah.
No one remembers the second villain, the name. They just knew They just knew that the other white guy was a white guy who owned the other island, the southern island. But no, Voss is a great character.
Now with Battlefront 2 being released and me pre-ordering it, it's kind of like there's no use to me wanting to even play Battlefront 1. So it's like, I heard 2 has double the maps, more
that is the biggest
characters.
marketing push, is that like, look at this steak. There's more meat and fat and everything you wanted that wasn't in the first one. There wasn't a story in the first Battlefront, and now there is.
You know what it is, though? I feel like the reason why 1 was so restricted, it was because they didn't want to put too much into it and it not be a good game that people actually wanted. Because a lot of people were like, "Oh, it's just Battlefield with a Star Wars skin."
Oh, I personally played Battlefront for about maybe the max, I think 5 hours, maybe even less than that, and it did not feel like Battlefield to me. There was no defined class. It was like all custom class letters and whatnot. Right. But there are a variety of guns and weapons and tools. But I mean, to me, Battlefront 1 and 2 had defined classes that worked well in all those scenarios. But other than that, there wasn't much map variety. People complained about how to play the hero class, because as much as everyone would like to play, think 3 of the good and 3 of the evil, Han Solo, you had Luke Skywalker, and I think you had Leia. I might be skimming out on that. And for the Sith, then you had Bubba, you had Darth Vader, and I forget. I think Sidious. I think people were complaining how that's all a freaking percentage dice roll that one player.
This one has 20.
There's a lot more, and
this one you have Rey, you have Kylo, you have.
There's more variety because and I think the first Battlefront didn't have much of the prequel stuff. This one has the prequel stuff, despite the movies not be that great.
Right.
But
Darth Maul's in.
That's still content.
Yeah.
People like Darth Maul.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know that.
Yeah, people love him.
Everyone likes.
See, the thing about this Star Wars stuff. The thing about the prequels is, the thing I fucking like about the prequels is there's stuff in it that it has its highlight. It has its highlight moments. You like Qui-Gon in the first one because he's like, oh, dude, even though he's not in it for too long, he leaves this impression okay, this dude is definitely probably one of the greatest Jedis. Yeah. We didn't get to see him at his prime. Yeah. We got to see him towards the end.
I mean, he was a mentor, but I mean,
right?
Man, all those force powers he used.
Right, and then you gotta think this dude was the master of Obi-Wan. So just think if we would have got to see this guy in his prime, in his main prime. We got to see the emergence of Obi-Wan in the first movie. We got to see, even though we got to see shitty kid Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah, I think he's a Jordak right now. I don't know.
Yeah, and then
allegedly.
Yeah, and then Jar Jar. That was kind of the downfalls. But you had Maul, you had Qui-Gon, you had. I feel like Ewan McGregor did a great job as a young Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yep. I mean,
and then and then Mace Windu for when he was in there, you had your cool moments. And 2, I love the rise of Jango Fett. I love 2. Of course, it had a lot of cringy moments in it as well. But
that love scene that everyone talks about where there was no chemistry.
Yeah.
Everyone loves no chemistry romance. There's no complication there.
Yeah.
We must fall in love because plot.
Dooku was pretty cool.
I don't know if we're jumping the gun here. I don't know if you want me jumping the gun, but the whole theory of Dooku was this spy. He was supposed to before the script got edited or whatever, or like Lucas is like, I'm doing everything because the internet loves me, right?
Right.
Dooku was like supposed to be like this main central character, at least that's why I feel like, especially just like how much plot. He wasn't given much in episode 3, but episode 2 he was definitely the villain. But like question of like.
No, yeah, I definitely agree with you.
Yeah.
Then you go into 3. 3 kind of ended off. It ended strong. Started off kind of iffy, then went into cringy, and then you kind of. I mean, it's like you finally getting over diarrhea, and that last little bit is finally coming out. You're like, okay, I feel better.
Oh no! How did R2 get a jetpack and also oil slick and a flamethrower, but never use it through 4 through 6? Oh.
Yeah, of course you question that, but then you get to see it. I feel like the third one was Hayden Christensen's best performance. I like him, his whole turn to the dark side. Of course, it kind of seems like it was forced, no pun intended. But I like, how it, because you're about to see the start of some great films in episode.
I don't know if I agree with that.
4, 5, and 6.
It was the only thing I liked was the action scenes of 1 through 3, but the logic behind them was a little misled, not well written, flushed out. As much as I like the concept of General Grievous, a Jedi hunter, a freaking android human cyborg freaking hunter. Why don't you have better armor for your vital organs? Why can it be pried away with human power, bare human power? Just so many, man, that's good background noise. I'm sorry if you're hearing an audience. Yes, there's someone mowing the lawn.
They're doing their Saturday.
In our high-rise garden.
Right. Yeah, but
they got the huge lawnmower through the elevator. All right.
Segueing from those mediocre first 3 episodes to the iconic trilogy in 4, 5, 6, going into
the beloved.
Passing the charming
torch.
Episode 7, we'll get into episode 8 and talk about the theories. It's the countdown. We don't have we don't have too much.
There are many questions raised through 7.
Yeah, and there's a lot of stuff we want answered in 8. We're here. There's a lot of theories going around the internet, around talks of Luke going to the dark side, Rey being, either is she a Kenobi or a Palpatine. I've heard her being a Palpatine because of her Jedi stance and her fighting style.
Is this the theatrical premiere of Grey Jedi? The Grey Knight, the Grey Jedi Power users.
Are we going to see the Knights of Ren? Are those going to be revealing characters and actors?
Were they the children of they're being taught by
Luke Skywalker? Is Kylo Ren going back to the light side? Is Snape really Jar Jar? I've heard that theory that Snape is Jar Jar.
Is Finn a double agent?
Is he Mace Windu's son?
Well, I mean, it's either Mace Windu or
Lando?
Lando.
I don't think it's Lando. My whole thing is this: only Jedi can wield lightsabers, and he.
No, only races who are Force sensitive. It doesn't have to be specifically Jedi. You're not just born a Jedi. You're born to be Force sensitive.
True.
I mean,
I feel like I think he is a Jedi, but if not, okay, fine. And is Poe Dameron about to be the leader of the rebellion?
I mean, I can imagine he can be part of like the Rebellion Air Force, the friggin' Starfighters and whatnot.
Right.
I mean, again, he's an ace pilot. That's his objective. He's supposed to be the Han Solo stand-in because, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Episode 7, where were you? Under a rock?
Right.
Or were you James Franco, between a rock and a hard place? I don't know. What have you done with your life? Either way, Han Solo got cut horizontally in half by Ben Kenobi, his son. Which, another spoiler, Kylo Ren's is son of Princess Leia and Han Solo. Which
people know that. So. One of the questions I want to ask you, and I don't mean to cut you off, because it's a real serious thing to talk about, is...
Super serious.
Yeah, real serious.
Yeah.
Do you think
Maybe.
Do you think it's possible that Luke will be turned to the dark side? I mean, we jotted that out when we were talking about these theories, but do you see him? Could you see Luke Skywalker aligning himself with Snoke? Don't mind that. That's just the lot. That's just
the lawman in the Sky Garden, which we decided to build an office next to the Sky Garden.
Right.
The Sky Garden was the worst idea. But let's not talk about the Sky Zoo though.
Let's talk about the Skywalker, Luke Skywalker, and is he going to be going to the dark side? Me?
No.
I could see him going rogue, no pun intended again.
Yeah.
But I could see.
He's an X-Men?
Huh?
He's an X-Men?
No.
Rogue, the X-Men.
I was going for Rogue One.
Yeah, alright, yeah.
You catch that.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about that later too, as well as there possibly being another a Rogue 2 sequel. But my whole thing is with the whole episode 8, I think we're going to see a lot of stuff being revealed because, as we all know, second Star Wars movies have always been the better ones. Even
Clone Wars.
Yeah, even with Clone Wars. A lot of people say Clone Wars is the better movie of that said trilogy.
Well, movies and art are subjective, so people can say that whether or not it is a fact or not. Now, the question of will Luke return to the dark side? Luke has never been to the dark side. In order to return to something, you must be there in the first place.
Not even return. Will he go to the dark side? If I said return, I didn't mean to.
Well, I have not played KOTOR 2, which is the sequel to KOTOR Knights of the Old Republic, which was a game for the PC and Xbox and PS2. There's a sequel that was made by studio, other game stuff that I know for game stuff, which tackled the issue of how come a lot of Jedis are going over, like how Jedis are the main problem within the universe, and that they have more than often than not been Sith Lords. Like that is the supply of Sith Lords is a Jedi. But no, this guy is matured. He is wise. He understands the Force. Even though, the Force has not been taught him as a young child. This is 40 years, something odd plus, of him being a Jedi. He understands it. He studied it. He worked it. He's, freaking excommunicated himself all throughout society. And I think it's just him understanding that, no, they're, the balance of the Force. Someone needs to just be there and be a neutral party and say this is good, this is evil. I have to do one or the other in order to balance the universe. He's trying to be the middle part of the scale, not be on one bull or the other.
Right. I think more or less. If he was to said so, go to the dark side, I think it would be a ruse. I think the motherfucker would be trying to, be a
I'm being a double agent.
Yeah, not even really just. And see, I can see him maybe him thinking if I go, if I go quote unquote to the dark side, I can get close to Snoke. And maybe I can try my best to end him. Because you gotta think, if he tries to oppose Snoke is just gonna send Kylo Ren, which is gonna make Luke conflicted to want to kill him. But if he is on the dark side, he doesn't have to worry about going against Kylo Ren, and he can get closer to Snoke.
I don't think that's really good writing there, because I feel there's a lot of stories of I'm gonna tend to be the bad guy and the good guy thing, just like freaking Harley Quinn and Suicide Squad.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that.
Which I can't pour right in. No. Snoke has a vendetta against Luke Skywalker, which has led to the theory of him being Snoke being possibly Mace Windu, because a Skywalker allegedly killed Mace Windu. Now, here's the thing about Star Wars deaths: if it isn't a direct shot. If there's not a carcass lying down there lifelessly, or if there's not a decapitated head, that person could live. For example, Darth Maul.
Decapitated, still living.
No, he wasn't decapitated. Decapitation is of the head. He was cut horizontally through his gut, and he came back in this Clone Wars cartoon. Like, okay, yeah, years later, because that was 1999. Clone Wars cartoon was late odds, early teens, and he came back with chicken walker legs, which is.
And that is canon. Cool. And it is canon.
It's super canon.
Yeah, it's real canon.
This is not fanfic, not retconned. It's canon.
Do you think we could see Darth Maul actually pop up in these episodes? But to keep it on episode 8 and on episode 8, we'll talk about our later Star Wars episode 9 theories and possible 8 other theories. But to keep it on the Luke Skywalker thing, I don't know, man, because it with you pointing that out, so we've also said that Finn could possibly be related to Mace Windu. Orlando.
But I'm not
I think Lando is more of a reach, and I think Windu is more of a possible thing.
Yeah.
So if Windu, I almost said Lando. If it's funny, Lando, Windu.
The gay shipping of the two only black characters in the whole entire franchise,
and they're dudes.
Yeah.
We're both. I'm a Windu and I'm a Lando. But anyway,
it's your guess who's the power bomb.
Yeah. Wow.
Words.
But anyway, man, I feel like if Windu is Snoke and Finn is a Windu, then Snoke is Finn's father.
Here's my question: is there any rules or laws within the Jedi Order to have children? Not only that, the other question I gotta ask is, do Force-sensitive people...
I just had a mind blow. I'm sorry, keep finishing.
Do Force-sensitive people are able to... Okay, despite how dumb everyone can say about the prequels about the midichlorians, can the midichlorians make your genetic material infertile? I mean, yes, not something that Disney nor Star Wars will ever explore. If so, it's been retconned. But the idea of, can something of the Force actually make you infertile? Not fertile.
I don't know. I don't know. But
also, I always looked at the Force as kind of like sorcery in terms of you're just born with it.
But with my mind,
you can't control it.
I don't know. But with my mind blowing thing, I just had a mind blowing theory.
You're welcome.
Yeah, whatever. As I just said, if Snoke is revealed to be Mace Windu, and he is Finn's father, wouldn't that be kind of a coincidence?
Exactly. These are
to the original trilogy, where in the second movie it was revealed that it would just be too funny.
It would be funny, but also kind of recycling thoughts and ideas, and doesn't make it original.
Well, it's already been recycled in the first. All right, compare. Let's.
How many things can you recycle before it's useless?
Let's compare The Force Awakens to A New Hope. The prodigal chosen one is on a sun planet.
Yeah.
Both are on sun planets.
Desert planets,
sun planets.
If it was a sun planet, you'd be dead because that's a star. Because suns can.
Tatooine has
3 suns.
3.
Okay, but that's not a planet. Suns are not planets. Suns.
I didn't say lived on the
you said sun planet.
I just call it the sun planet because it has more than one sun.
Okay, then it's suns.
It's the planet known for suns. I have a shirt back there that says Tatooine, the place of suns.
Is it on because no one can give birth to a daughter?
I don't know. You're really stuck on this birth shit, man.
It's something that cannot be explored, nor will they ever explore.
But what I think is this: I honestly
they just say, "Oh, they gave birth." Okay.
We compare that. You also have that's the same. You have these two dark figures, and they're you don't know Kylo Ren, Darth Vader. You have the Master, Snoke, the Emperor.
Yeah.
You have basically the major kill plot. Obi-Wan dies in the first one.
Yeah.
Han Solo dies. I mean, you basically have everybody wants R2-D2 in the first one because he has the plans to destroy the Death Star. Everybody wants BB-8 because he has plans to destroy Starkiller Base.
No, it wasn't plans to destroy. No,
it was plans to find Luke Skywalker's.
Yes, but it was still data relative to a what's one MacGuffin.
Right.
Yes.
So you have all these similarities. And then people like The Force Awakens. New fans, old fans. Some fans didn't like the fact that Han Solo died, but if you have anybody be mad at Harrison Ford.
Again, I in Star Wars lore, I don't think he's dead. Despite the fact that when he fell into the plant blew up, so therefore he might be dead. But unless there's a decapitated head and I see the body being soulless, they're not dead.
You ain't seeing Harrison Ford reprise that role again.
No, he's done with that shit.
Yeah.
He's happy. That's one less bond to Disney and LucasArts,
right.
Aside from Indiana Jones.
And I think he's done with that too because we've heard rumblings of there being a reboot with Chris Pratt, which I would actually. I wouldn't mind seeing that.
Chris Pratt.
Now, if I got to see, Indiana Jones reboot, what was it? Ryan Gosling. I don't think Ryan Gosling could be Indiana Jones. I don't think Jake Gyllenhaal could be Indiana Jones. No. I think Chris Pratt could be Indiana Jones. Well, you kind of see that
there's being
it's like James Bond.
I was gonna say James Bond. Like it's just a name. It's a title. Like
right.
Like okay, yeah. These are different actors' interpretations of James Bond in the scenarios. Like yes, there's James Bonds are known for talking, and there's James Bond known for action. You have Daniel Craig for action. You have Sean Connery for talking because he's a charming fellow,
right?
Despite being a misogynist.
And then you have that actor that has a mixture of both, and Pierce Brosnan, who was action. He could do a little bit of dialogue. He wasn't the greatest action actor.
No,
but he gave a nice presence of action, and he made you seem like, okay, this dude isn't a beat your ass kind of action. He's more of a, I can handle a gun action. Trust me.
And gadgets, of course.
Yeah, and gadgets, And
come on, remember that scene when he uses that freaking car to be controlled by his phone? Those were cool scenes.
Yeah, the scene where him and Halle Berry was in the helicopter. That was
there was that one. There was a movie before. I think it was a James Bond movie involving the news. But back to Star Wars, yes.
Back to Star Wars and.
Let's steer this car back to Star Wars.
Steer it back to Star Wars. But you're not going to see Han Solo back. So with Episode 8, I think, of course, with the trailer reveals, we see a conflicted Kylo Ren attacks. Might be attacking, maybe killing, his mother. We see Finn battling. We see Finn and First Order garb.
Yeah, everyone has baggage,
right?
And that's why I think that's what makes things humans. Is no one on this planet, if you haven't lived, to 20 or 30 or 40 and not have baggage, I don't think you really lived. Honestly, right. you just floated on by.
I think this.
And the fact that these are main characters, they must have baggage. They're not a support character.
Yeah,
support characters may have baggage, but these are main characters. They deserve to have baggage. They deserve to have something be exploited by a story.
Yeah, as well as honestly,
again, this is.
I wouldn't be, and this is a real deep reach.
Yep. How far down the barrel? Is it already past the bottom?
I'm fucking down there with Jack Nicholson. Let's just put it like that.
All right.
I flew the cuckoo's nest. I think Poe Dameron might be a First Order double spy.
I mean, he's known to be a spy. Spies are known to betray. And of course, the greatest spy of all is Ocelot, but that's another thing.
I feel, and this is one of the things that kind of tips me off. If you watch it, and then people might be like, "Oh, that's bullshit. He's just cool." But for a guy that's never seen Kylo Ren, usually people that see him fear him. He didn't really fear him. You kind of had this I met you before.
Well, I mean, he never seen him face to, but the
they were face to face in the beginning.
Well, I mean, not actual face to face. flesh to flesh, not man mask, but like mask is still a intimidating presence. Either way, but they're still. What are they going about?
Yeah, what I was gonna say is I feel Poe Dameron might be a double spot. I think he might be.
Yeah.
And then another.
He either is a double spade or he has a really strong will.
And then see another thing that kind of like he's gone for mostly the entire movie.
Of episode 7.
Of episode 7. He
he has his scenes, and that's what makes him memorable. When he's a good shot, he's able to fly.
But he's not doing anything that does any type of major damage to the First Order. He's not the one to destroy Star Killer.
No, but he had the data.
Huh? Yeah, right. BB-8 had the data.
He had but how did BB-8 didn't just roll in there? No, he needed help with Poe.
You're right.
Poe got BB-8 into the data, and they had to get.
But think about it like this: it's more. Let's let them think that they took a major hit, but we get the major. It's like sacrificing a knight.
Yeah.
For the greater good of the
You're sacrificing an arm for a life. Yeah.
So if we know where the main rebellion, leaders are and all that, we have that information. We can find them.
Yeah.
Eliminate all threats.
But that's not the greatest threat as much as just Skywalker.
Right. As well as I look at
the question is well, they do know where Skywalker is because they show the plans in front of all the leaders.
Right. And then another thing that kind of tips me off to it is they say in this movie him and another character that they're going to be introducing are kind of going at it for leadership of the rebellion because Princess Leia dies. And it's and I'm well, if you're just if
they say that she's in episode 9?
Who?
Who's Leia plays Leia? I'm sorry, audience, because I'm pretty sure they know because they're probably bigger.
Carrie Fisher. Carrie Fisher.
Yeah. She's actually she's dead. I'm fine. Rest her soul and whatnot. But didn't they say that they are putting her in episode 9?
We might have some archive footage or some stuff that.
They CG. They CG Grand Moff Tarkin, which all right, sure.
Yeah, that and they CGI'd Carrie Fisher and the.
They CGI'd her face.
And Rogue One, yeah, because it was a whole nother actor that did all that. My whole thing is this: they've already, this is basically in the plot. This is in the plot of him. Having issues with another, officer of high rank within the rebellion trying to come in and, she has her own group of people that want to, lead, and then he has his own group of people. And I believe her side is more robots than humans or aliens.
Yeah.
But my whole thing is if Poe, gave off this vibe that it's just all about getting the task done. And if it's all about getting the task done, why do you care about being the leader? You just want to defeat the First Order. I feel and then let's go back and watch that Force Awakens trailer. There's a part where you see Poe and you see Finn, and you see the light, and then there's the light side and the dark side.
But that could be just a red herring.
You're right, but
any other trailer or posters and whatnot.
Yeah, but I kind of feel like it's like I said, this is a reach.
Everything's a reach until the show. These are all theories. Everyone's talking to the lobby of the theater and whatnot until the play is shown.
Right,
we're grabbing straws.
Who's to say what if he's not? What if he doesn't? Who's to say he's not pulling the Lando? And it's just something for temporarily for episode 8, and then episode 9 comes and he's really a part of the rebellion after all. But
but I feel like those kind of things you can only do it once.
Man,
because if they pull Lando in episode 8 and okay, they're just repeating, they're just making the originals again.
There's just one new plot. But that's basically what the Force. So if you.
Yeah, but that's okay. You recognize these familiar things? No. let's walk along the corridors and see what's new in this remodeled home. We tear down this wall, we turn this into this thing, and
then you gotta think, we already got the Jedi training with Luke and her. That's similar to
it's
Yoda,
similar, but it's kind of different
and,
because they're on a different location. But
it's the same thing, different location, but it's basically the same.
But I mean,
thing.
It depends on like how they do train, because like in terms of like how well will Rey will receive. Like how well she's disciplined and whatnot. Like she taught herself a lot of things and all that. But I'm very curious the interaction between these two mentors, because like when a mentor and a scholar, they're gonna be different in many scenarios. It's not gonna be the same, every scenario. Like, I'm very curious about what that relationship is gonna look like, especially with the idea like if Rey does find out about Luke's past. And she's adding 1 + 2 + 3 = 6 and whatnot, and seeing that like, yeah, you're my father, and like, no, I'm fucking not.
Right.
Like that's still again like like I don't think episode 8's gonna solve every theory or every question, because there's still gonna be episode 9, and that may or may not close all the arcs.
Right.
Hopefully.
Well, we got a lot of it's a lot. We have
that's everything.
All our answers will be answered in a few weeks, and we will.
A few weeks, if not a few years.
Yeah, but our episode 8 questions will be answered in a few weeks. I'll put it to like.
If not, raise more questions.
Keeping it on Star Wars and jumping into after episode 8 and going into actually 2019, we have another Star Wars movie coming out, and it's
with a revealed title by God, Howard. I forgot his name now. Darn it.
Yeah, but we got Han Solo, the Han Solo movie coming out in
a Star Wars story.
Yeah,
featuring Han Solo. As when we first started out,
young.
Everyone's young. Even a young prolific actor that everyone either knows or adores one way or another, either by his rap career, his new series on FX, his start in Community.
Or his comedic stand-up, Donald Glover, a.k.a. Childish Gambino, will be playing Lando Calrissian.
Finally, he's now doing another he's doing another character and a thing that all nerds appraise.
Right? Yeah.
He wanted to be Spider-Man, but you know what? Being a major character in a series or a lesser character, that's still something.
Yeah, I'm happy for him. I like.
He can put it on his headstone. And I think that's really important, especially for him. I'm happy for him for a lot of things, and that's definitely a big achievement.
Yeah, and it keeps the character alive going. You got Billy D. Williams, who reprised the role in the original trilogy. Yeah. Now you got him coming in and just adding to the lore of
and we finally get to see history between Lando and like how far back these two bro guys just being happy with each other, and like how they meet and whatnot. Because like I remember watching a video from Regular Media, which have done really good reviews of the Star Wars franchise of Mr. Plinkett. Really cool, a fascinating character, not a cool character, but a fascinating character who has done movie reviews. His most recent review I think he has done was Transformers, which that was fascinating. Right. As well as last year's Ghostbusters, which if you've never heard of Mr. Plinkett, go look at Mr. Plinkett. All those kids are fine and funny. They deserve a watch, your views, your time. But there was a theory of the two guys from Regular Media talking about what the Solo film will contain, and one theory is it'll talk about the Coruscant Run, which I recently got into Star Wars tabletop game, and which there's these things called runs, which are basically just trade routes. And I think the thing about Han Solo, the famous thing that Han Solo is known for being a smuggler, was doing this run in a certain amount of time, or doing it in a certain way that he got it done in such a quick way, and we're going to learn about that run, the importance of that run.
Right.
And this is what made him a legend. This is what he's known for, especially getting the freighter, getting the Millennium Falcon, getting all these things that we know of. Not only that, but also how he met Chewie. When Chewie met Solo, the story that we all needed to know. Right. The best, freaking duo of time.
Well, you got the guy, I just did a little bit of research as you were talking.
Good old banter.
You're
welcome.
Alden Ehrenreich will be reprising the role of, well, not reprising, he will be debuting as the role of the young Han Solo.
Yep.
You got Emilia Clarke in as of right now, uncredited role that I don't know, but like we said, Donald Glover will be debuting the role as young Lando Calrissian. And then we have Woody Harrelson also in it.
Oh yeah, Woody Harrelson.
As a supporting role. He will be like the kind of the father figure.
The mentor.
The mentor, the Han Solo.
It's not Star Wars movies unless it's not a Star Wars film unless there's some form of mentor.
Yeah, you got Thaddeus Newton in it, great actress. And then Ron Howard is directing it. Ron Howard, great actor.
Yeah, Ron Howard. I was thinking of this.
Great director, great actor on Happy Days, I feel like.
Yep.
And from what I'm hearing, this Han Solo movie is going to be it's not going to be what everybody expects. It's not going to be this. It's not going to be like Rogue One. It's not going to be like Star Wars. Where
I'm hoping it's not like Rogue One.
Yeah, Rogue One was a great movie, but we're not talking about that. We'll talk more about that later. But my whole thing with this one is Ron Howard is trying to make this kind of a more space western. So I'm hoping that it's.
I was thinking that it would be more like a freaking like Ocean's 11 or something. But
right. I'm hoping.
I wouldn't mind that either.
You know.
But I'm sorry to cut in, Baker, but just the little FYI out there. Like Howard. I'm sorry, what's his name again?
Ron Howard.
Ron Howard. Not the original director. He came in a little after a little dispute between directors and movie producers and whatnot. Like. As much as I like to have these films be great, there's been a lot of trouble with these films because of directors and how they're envisioning it depends on and the differences between that and also how Disney wants Star Wars done in a certain way and whatnot.
Right.
It puts in a little bit of a hot water situation, but I'm still, as someone who does enjoy Star Wars, enjoys the lore and the mythos and whatnot, despite my lack of knowledge of it, I do hope these films do succeed.
Right.
Because it's still a major cornerstone in nerd culture.
Right. I think we'll be possibly seeing. We will, and I hope we call it. But if we don't see it this Christmas when Episode 8 drops, we will see it around the time Super Bowl, which is in February, comes. Which will be,
if not Super Bowl, at least a Comic-Con.
Yeah, we will be seeing a Han Solo.
Because like, when did the?
I wouldn't mind seeing a Han Solo trailer, but I wouldn't mind seeing a Han Solo.
They're pretty much in post-production at this point, really. I mean, imagine if not doing reshoots.
Right. Yeah.
But we should see some form of
because
trailer.
Donald Glover wasn't able to even release his TV show Atlanta this year. I think he had to push that back because he was tied up with producing this.
I need to see that show.
Yeah, both.
He got awards.
Yeah, both actors and actresses have been tied up. Scheduled. Well, 3 of them. Atlanta has 3 rising young actors. You have Donald Glover, who's starting to get roles. You have another guy that's on that show by the name of Lakeith Stanfield. A lot of people don't know what he's been in, but he was just in the movie Get Out.
Okay. Was he the main character or was he?
He was the guy that wore the hat when he snapped the picture and his nose started bleeding.
He was at the party.
Yeah, he's in that show.
He was also in Death Note recently.
Right, he was in that, and he's been in a couple. He was in this movie. Can't think of the name, with Brad Pitt. It was on Netflix. I can't think of the name. I'm not going to try to spitball around it. Yep. He was in the movie with that as well. But as well as they have an actress on there by the name, I can't think of her name. I think it's Zuzu something. I'm not going to try to think of her name, but
Pazuzu.
Pazuzu. But
the Gargarian.
Yeah, but she actually is playing Domino in the Deadpool movie.
Hooray!
Right, and she actually looks badass if you go look her up on Instagram. Look at Domino Deadpool movie. She looks pretty decent, and I think she might be a great role for her. And her being cast as that, we know that a Deadpool 2 is coming out, and hopefully that will be coming out next year. But I highly doubt it because we have everybody knows that big Marvel movie is coming out next year.
And aside from that, I mean, also a minor, not minor, but someone lost their life during a stunt, which, sorry for the that happening, whatnot.
But yeah,
but again, hope the film does well.
Right.
More than likely, because like Deadpool, that's a miracle and a half for
director to drop out of another one to come.
Not only that, it was underfunded. It was continually asking it. The execs were like, "No, we're not gonna fund this movie as much as that because rated R movies do not do that well." Guess what? That blew up in your face like a freaking explosive cigar.
Right.
That you've been smoking all day. Execs, not you personally, but no, like it's just I only hope these films do well because again, like I would like to see this film. As much as I like to keep my expectations low for things, I do wish these films do well.
Yeah, but
I want surprises.
Bringing it back on, so
yes.
I hope Ron Howard does his thing, and I'm hoping that we really get to see, and I hope we really get to see a space cowboy movie, and I feel like Han Solo will be the perfect jump for that.
Yeah,
because hopefully that will spark.
I mean,
that will spark.
Smugglers are outlaws.
Right. That will spark with Magnificent Seven coming out and being a great movie, and then this Han Solo movie being a good space cowboy movie. Hope and this is another reach outside of Star Wars, but with even though it was a bad it was great in the box office. But it was, people were kind of upset about, casting and how it was mushed down. But Ghost in the Shell, I feel if Han Solo does
do well in the box office.
It was a great box office sale, but critics did not like it.
The only thing I know about Ghost in the Shell, real quick, apparently it's the latest DVD to have a 3D Blu-ray release. That's what I heard.
But if Han Solo does good, I feel like we could possibly see a Cowboy Bebop live-action movie. Which is something I feel a lot of people would like to see.
I think people would want to see that forever since the anime got successful, but like,
But again, that's a reach.
Yeah.
And getting back into Star Wars, and this is just we're just gonna mush this in real quick. Possible Star Wars movies after Han Solo. Of course, we're gonna see Episode 9, but
what's the other film they're doing?
They're talking about doing an Obi-Wan movie with Ewan McGregor.
No, it was Boba Fett. There's supposed to be a Boba Fett movie in the works as well.
If a Boba Fett movie would be good, James Earl Jones, we do not know how long this man has on Earth.
Okay,
we need to see a solo Vader movie. I would like to see Vader after he's become Vader. What has he done between the time of Episode 3 and Episode 4? I want to see something in between that time period, because I feel like that right there. Because Anakin Skywalker is dead. Here comes this new Jedi, this new Sith Lord, Darth Vader.
I imagine just like Hitler, he would have an artillery strike over to his hometown, so it would erase his records.
It's a beloved character, even though he's a villain. I think it's.
How would these two be in a movie? Like, just like, we faced each other one time? I mean, they never. I don't think they ever mentioned Vader and Solo.
Oh no! I would only see Vader and Solo.
You say that you would like to have a Solo and Vader movie, didn't you?
No, a Solo single. Yes.
Okay.
Not a Han Solo Vader movie. I meant a Solo.
Yeah, because I was really confused.
Yeah, excuse me. I would like to see a movie solely about Darth Vader.
I'm now just trying to imagine a modern day buddy cop movie of Solo and Vader getting into a cop car trying to chase down criminals.
No. I would like
to one's a great shot and one would just cut the other dude in half.
There's a couple of, and they're non-canon now, but if they tap into this, it could be canon. There's comics out.
Yep.
Where they show the time in between 3 and 4.
Yeah, filler. Yeah.
It's a filler basically, and I feel like certain issues of those Star Wars graphic novels could be adapted into a movie for Vader.
They got money.
Yeah, so I would like to see that. I would like to see this Boba Fett movie or Jango Fett, either or. I'd like to see.
Let me throw a wrench in your gears there. How about a movie doesn't have a major character?
No, well, that was another one.
Think of a movie that would not have a major character.
All right, and see, that's the thing. These are movies I would like to see, and other fans would like to see. But there is a movie without a major character I would like to see. But see, I don't think you're a big fan of Avatar, and that Star Wars could actually do
Which Avatar?
Not the airbending one, the James Cameron.
I knew it.
Okay.
I mean, very, very.
Could we see a Rogue One 2 movie? Because you do know that there was a second Rogue mission with Bothans, and I would personally like.
Do I know that?
You didn't?
Not.
You don't remember the iconic line?
I don't remember
Many
that.
Bothans died.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would like to see.
Only in that dumb freaking Star Wars Family Guy parody.
You don't remember that? It was in the movie.
No, but I'm not really a big fan of Rogue One for various reasons.
You don't have to be. This is a totally different movie.
I know, but
this is a totally different plan. We haven't seen the.
What was the Bothans plan?
They basically. Well, I have to look it up. But they were basically...
The story that you really know, but okay, so what was the plan? Well, we gotta look it up.
They didn't even talk about the plan in the movie, or how they got it.
They say many Bothans died for this plan, so they clearly talk about the plan.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, Bothans are like this a warrior alien race.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
They're like dog people that go after information.
What?
I'm playing a Bothan race as a character in my tabletop RPG. I will bring out the information on Bothans right now for you. Go and banter, please.
I don't think so.
You're talking about the Rands, like bug people. No, Gothans, whatever. I think. This is really good bantering. Let's say some stuff and whatnot. Really good bantering. Okay, so a reason why I don't like Rogue One. I think the ending was dumb. Like they really shoestringed it barely by the skin of their balls, if anything. Just like why couldn't Vader? Like Vader apparently had no energy to do a lot of things after killing like several rebel troops, and like I do not have the force powers to grab the data that I do not know off away from that man. Like apparently it was important enough for this guy to get through a door. How come I couldn't grab him? I don't know. Plot reasons, sure, why not? Other than that, but like characters were not memorable. I can't remember any character whatsoever after watching the movie, and nor ever after that point. A lot of things are filmed just for the trailer, which I understand. Like yes, that happens a lot, but just it bothers me. Like no, like, none of these things I thought would be really cool moments of like, how can she get out of this situation? Like nothing really happened. No, like that situation didn't happen. That was just a trailer thing. We just fooled you. We got the money now. You're a loser. How dare you? Freaking be interested into this thing we put in the trailer perfectly for this reason. Other than that, but like, I don't know. Like, there's moments I thought were just kind of dumb, and like this character's being killed off for any reason. Just like, well, there's a reason we don't talk about this character. They're dead now because you only saw them for like 5 minutes and whatnot. That's all I got. Yeah. All right, here we go. Bothans. Bothans are galaxy's information brokers, adapted to pick up on secrets and seeing seeing things other species ignore. Bothans are valuable assets in Endeavor or untrustworthy partners. Every layer of Bothan society is based on acquisition, manipulation, and utilization of knowledge. Sometimes likened by Hutts and Twi'leks. Bothans are comparisons and as an insult. Prestige, not wealth, motivates him. A Bothan's reputation is at the end of the day all his. Loyalty and respect for all one enders are supreme importance. For Bothans never climb the ladder of power through disobedience. Nevertheless, loyalties can shift at a moment's notice depending on the knowledge at hand. Bonds, yeah, little dog people. Look, old dog, like schnauzers. Old lion face too. Oh, kind of cute looking. Where were we on? I'm sorry. About Bothans obtaining a plan that was never spoken. Yeah, I wouldn't mind, again, like side stories. I wouldn't mind side stories, but I don't think they need to be a feature film.
Yeah, I think
it just needs to be a short film, not exactly fan-made or anything. Other movies I would like to see from the Star Wars series. A short film about how what was Chewie doing during his enslavement. That would probably be explored for the solo film, without question.
That would need to be a movie. I think
again, short film. I mean,
I think a Yoda movie would be good.
I'm grabbing some straws here, hoping I get a needle when it comes to Star Wars. Just like new music, well, I just accept that. And like, yeah, I'm not gonna put any credit thought. Like, they're fine films. They're films. Like, you can watch them or not. You can enjoy it, but it's still a rather important part of their culture. Either way, just because like, oh, here's a religion of the Force and whatnot. Okay. Feature-length film.
Well, I mean, I think that's all the really possible films that we could think of.
Yeah. I mean, the well is dry now. We entered the well on Star Wars films as well.
What I would think is, what about this to end it off? The visceral games.
Oh yes, we're gonna talk about games. Visceral games. That is a sad thing to hear and say, because Visceral has a prestige within game development and game journalism of creating the Dead Space series, and like how like that brought horror practically back, despite being in 08. That was the same year as RE5, and that was already scary, kind of, yeah. But just like Dead Space and just decayed flesh and whatnot, and like how in creating that. They also, aside from Dead Space 1, 2, and 3, they also did the Devil's Cartel of the Army of Two series, which, like, again, like, apparently the third game wherever they work on of a franchise is not that great. Like, there's people may harp on Dead Space 3 for being too bro-y and shooting. Like, yeah, I was alright with it. Like, okay, it was far away from horror. You didn't feel really tough, feel terrified or scared or suspense through Dead Space 3, but. And also worked on Hardline. I think it was just the story of Hardline, Battlefield Hardline, the Battlefield game that was not military. It was like cops and robbers and whatnot. He plays a police person and whatnot. But here's the thing: they still make a good story. I still think those are good stories. But the thing that saddens me about this is more information is getting out by the day. Like, supposedly this is also supposed to be an Ocean's 11 style game. It was a single player narrative. There was no multiplayer whatsoever. And it had Amy Hennig. For those who do not know who Amy Hennig is, she was the creative director of the first 3 Uncharted games. And you look at the Uncharted games, and you look at, I think the best example of a more narrative-style storytelling, aside from Battlefront 2 story, would be Star Wars 1313. And you look at that, and you look at Uncharted, and like, yeah, those two games look similar despite the setting. And I think that's the game that everyone really wanted, that looked great. You look at 1330 footage and you're like, no, I want that game now, and that's the game I wanted from Visceral. And I believe in the letter of EA, they're like, yeah, no, we're closing down the studio, we're trying to pivot the resources of people and whatnot, and we're putting the studio over to EA Vancouver. I hope these people land on their feet, that they still work on the project in some way, shape, or form, despite there being internal dispute over the game, and what they're trying to import. And like, not only that, there's also talks about there being microtransactions and whatnot, in which that's in the whole, and loot boxes, and that's a whole, freaking bucket of water across the ocean and whatnot. But I really do hope that, and not only that, but also the release date was supposed to be 2019, and they revealed, like, they even talked about this game for like past 2 E3s. Like don't talk. Like, EA has a problem with like talking a game too soon, and they really did with this one, I think. Aside from Mass Effect and Battlefront.
Right.
But I do hope, again with Star Wars, just anything Star Wars, I hope it does well. I hope I hope they get back into production, and it comes out sometime before this console generation ends.
This has been a real serious Star Wars podcast, heavy.
Yeah.
This has been a
Star Wars cast.
Yeah, this has been a heavy Star Wars podcast, but
Star Wars is important.
Tuesday is Halloween, and
hooray!
We are wrapping up the month of October. I think we'd like to try to dive in, like,
scary
stuff.
Speaking about visceral games of scariness, let's talk about scary stuff. Scary movies this year.
Scary movies and games. What's some of the most scariest movies you let's talk about some of the scariest stuff we've seen this year. I think you've seen
I've seen a lot of scary things in RE7. RE7 is a very scary game. No matter what you look at, I tried to talk to my friend, like, no, you gotta finish the game. There's something cool happens at the very end. It's like, no, I'm too scary. Just like, you're going to his house that you don't know the complete layout at all, like any other new environment, and just like there's this guy just chasing you through a wall. Like he breaks through the walls like freaking Kool-Aid Man, carrying a heavy, a dangerous looking like freaking gardening tool, and try to beat the shit out of you with it. And not only that, but just like it being like this is not a main art. Like despite being RE7, like on the surface level, you don't see anything Resident Evil. You don't see any Redfield. You don't see Leon. You don't see the umbrella symbol. You don't see any farms. This is like a freaking outback country hick, like Louisiana, like freaking bayou shit, and just like a bunch of weird creepy things. You're just standing there and there's like all this creepy stuff and food being fed to you. Like you don't know what that object is when you're being fed it and you're eating it, whether you like it or not. And that's a scary game. Recently, Evil Within 2. That's scary. Like just like how much Evil Within is. The first Evil Within, just kind of being unknown.
Right.
Knowing that, but also being semi-psychological horror. There are definitely quite a few enemy boss designs that are just body parts sewn together, and I think that is creepy in itself. Like just making a humanoid, flesh golem. Is the proper D&D term, monster, more or less.
Right.
Other than that,
what about movies?
Movies, again, Get Out was great. That's a really good movie. I hope Jordan Peele works on another social horror movie, because it wasn't scary in terms of just like blood, guts, and gore. It wasn't scary in terms of there was suspense and whatnot. But it wasn't scary in terms of like, oh, here's a monster man. It was scary because it diverted expectations through a lot, like majority of the movie until like the last chunk. Then you like realize, okay, yeah, no, you know what? That is scary. Like right. Despite the fact that the main protagonist is a black guy with a white girlfriend, like I can understand a scenario like that is scary. But as a white dude, I don't have that scenario that often because reasons.
You don't like dating black women?
No, you can throw your reel out there in the pond. Doesn't mean you're gonna catch anything out there. But no, it's just
you never know, man.
But other scary movies.
I'm black and I've dated white women, so fuck it. But
not saying no. Yeah. Racial things are the wall blocking me game from the other side. Like no,
I haven't seen Get Out, and I don't think I don't know.
It's worth a watch.
Yeah, I know it's worth the watch. I just haven't got around to it.
Other scary movies. It. That was scary.
Yeah, I've seen it real good.
Just the opening like sequence, like meeting Pennywise and doing the iconic thing that wasn't really shown well in the first rendition of It with Tim Curry. Yeah. Pennywise is really scary because he's a Swedish man. Just like the way he talks is scary. Like Tim Curry, just like he sounds like an construction worker who is doing his second job being a clown.
Right.
Not only that, but also just the thing about it. Its whole thing of like it feeds on fear.
Yeah.
Other scary movies. I'm watching. I went through back to the Saw series. It's scary in its own odd sense. This is my fourth year. Oh, I need water.
Yeah.
That's my fault.
I think going into games, of course, Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, definitely scary. But to dive away from them and to get into some two scary games that I know you probably never played before. Probably heard of.
Challenge me.
One was for the PlayStation 2 and it was The Thing, based off of the movie.
I've seen gameplay of this.
And,
there's a YouTube channel that I watch. They do a whole thing about scary games called The Shitstorm. They've done 6 right now.
The Thing was a pretty good game, yep. And with it, I used to play it a lot. I liked it. I liked how you could you do a blood test, like you couldn't trust nobody, so you do a blood test, and somebody might necessarily be an alien, they would turn into one, you have to kill them, or you have like the alpha aliens sometimes pop up, and you have to devise some type of plan to get rid of them because you were low on fire, you know.
Non-xenomorph aliens.
I know on one part, I was like, at one save point, I know it was one guy was like, I'm not going to help you unless you get rid of those, get rid of 3 of those little monsters. And then he was like, I'll help you. So the first one, breaks through the wall. He's chasing me, big giant fucker. And I run. I'm like, fuck that. I turned around. I ran towards the guy with the flamethrower. And the monster's coming. And the guy torches him. I'm like, ooh. So I started figuring that out.
You had to bait the alien to the guy with the flamethrower?
Yeah, I would bait the alien to follow me to where the guy is with the flamethrower. And he would torch the fucker. Yeah. And we would both like shoot at it. And then like that would be the whole thing.
Yeah.
Getting into another scary game that I used to play. The Ring, and it wasn't the Ring that you guys think from.
It's
not
the American. It's not the American one. It's the It was Ju-on, wasn't it?
I think so.
JU-ON.
And it was for the Dreamcast, and
I don't think it was.
You would get instead of getting sucked into a TV, you would get sucked into a computer, and you would be in this world. Like,
no, I was thinking of something else.
You would be in like this like abandoned like. You would be like this abandoned like hospital. It was all dark, and you had like low battery on. You had to find batteries to keep your light on, but you would have weapons, and monsters would creep up from around, corners and stuff. My cousin had it, and we used to watch him play it. But it was like one of the most scariest fucking games that I ever like played and watched. My cousin said it was called The Ring, and I don't think that was called it. And I'm about to
like any film that has a girl roughly between 13 and 20 and has long black hair and wears a white dress or a dress in general is usually some traditional Japanese.
Nope, it was The Ring. It was called The Ring, Terror's Realm.
All right.
That was the game. I remember.
That sounds like a PS2 era game. Yes.
Yeah, it was for the Sega. It was for the Sega Dreamcast, and it was. Man, I need to get my hands on one of those systems. Like I had a lot of favorable games on there. WWE Royal Rumble, Power Stone 2.
There's a slight chance over at Disc Replay, man.
Yeah, I know.
You just need to find the right location.
But yeah,
also Craigslist.
As far as movies go, I wasn't really into like the gory stuff. I'm more into like jump scare, but also psychological thrillers and stuff like that.
But come on, Anatomy.
I liked The Faculty. That was like the one teen scary movie where like aliens were taking over the small town. Like Invasions of the Body Snatchers.
Yes. Good old classic.
Black and White, or the one that had Forrest Whitaker in the mid-90s. Or the one with Donald Sutherland and Leonard Nimoy, that one, and Jeff Goldblum. That one's okay too. But I feel like if I watch Get Out, I would like it. But like after a while, and it's another movie. It's called Disturbing Behavior. Had James Marsden in it, who played Cyclops in X-Men, the original X-Men movies. Those are kind of the ones that I necessarily like. I like those alien movies where it's like
there's built with tension.
No, it's like I like pod people scary movies where like
people are encased with something and there might be something wrong with them.
Right, like aliens are taking over, but you don't know who's an alien or not.
Oh, yeah, those films of those I would say are technically like suspense, but like the idea of someone is not claiming who they are and for reasons.
Or Stepford Wives. Scary movie. That's a scary movie.
There's definitely a Stepford Wives feel to Get Out. I'll say that much.
Right. Yeah. And
not only because you're in a freaking like enclosed white neighborhood.
Right.
With a bunch of just rich-looking people and whatnot. But
right. So I definitely, I like movies like that because you could actually that type of stuff could actually, not the whole alien thing, but like the whole Get Out thing, I don't think that can necessarily happen, but of course, you know, with the breaking of mind, with the whole breaking of one's mind, you could definitely see something like that happen in like a small secluded area, especially where you hear about like
a small town.
Yeah, these fucking crazy people that kidnap people and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, like there's like I think Wolf Creek.
Yeah,
something like remote.
Yeah, crazy.
I have not seen it. I'm aware of it. Like I just remember watching. I'm trying to remember the channel, but it used to have like this like top 20 scariest like scenes from movies, or top 100 scary movies, and it was like a whole series of things.
Right.
But if you want, I was just thinking of movies and games came out this year that was scary. But no, I'm remembering RE4, like when it was nighttime in the village, like that was scary because like it was really dark one night, and like you can vaguely see the eyes of like the villagers and whatnot, and being possessed by parasites. Of course, probably the most famous scary movies. I'm more of a blind gore types of guy because like there's some body horror. Like everyone's scared of like a limb going in a certain direction, like bending your finger back like 190 degrees. It's just creepy, and just like depending on all the sound design. Like I think that's the most important part of any horror movie is sound design, especially involving any anatomy and whatnot. I enjoyed the Hostel movie because of those reasons, especially particular scenes in 2, and also as well as 1 because there's only 2. But you know, Friday the 13th is probably amongst my favorite franchise. I have not seen all of them. I have not seen. If so, I only fell asleep to Freddy Goes to New York. I have not finished the one where there's a sick person.
Sorry.
Great audio. Everyone listens to. But the whole entire like arc of Tommy Jarvis, the whole thing. Nightmare on Elm Street. That's a very classic. Like those two are always the top tier in terms of horror, like slashers. In my mind, but everyone wants to say Mike Myers is number 3. Like, no. First of all, 3 didn't even have Mike Myers. Like, there was no mention of Mike Myers. Like, it was just like a joke to me, involving those weird dolls and mask things and like, not saying that like your child puts on a mask and something happens, like some particular sequence happens, and yet the maggots are coming out of their faces and whatnot, and I forget what happens after that. But Chucky to me is always scary, just because like it's not just a serial killer that can be hidden in a well place, but it is that. But not only that, but also like growing up, I would go to trips to South Dakota, which is really far away from Indiana, quite a whole day's travel. I had great grandparents over on my mother's side. My great grandpa died like a few years ago, but growing up, went over there for whatever reason, just to visit. In their basement, they had. I think I slept there one night, and this is a few weeks after I saw like a bit about Child's Play. They had porcelain dolls with porcelain faces, and like that's never not creepy.
Scared the shit out of you.
Oh, I couldn't sleep. I had to sleep in the laundry room. There was a pull-up bed in the laundry room, and I slept in there. Fuck that shit. No, I'm torched in that basement.
Well, we've talked a lot about Star Wars, and with Halloween, Halloween around the corner. I guess you had to get a couple conversations of scary things, movies, games. But to get into some personal stuff, just personally of interest. So this month basically was the launch of all the DCCW TV shows. Mm-hmm. I have not watched not one single episode that has came out. I want to wait for the end of the month, which will end this upcoming week. And after this upcoming week, I basically will be watching, binging Supergirl, Flash, Arrow, DC's.
You're prepping up your weekends.
Yeah, I'm prepping up stuff to be able to watch, so.
Be a big old couch potato, just, treat it like a Super Bowl. Just give like junk food shit.
Well, I'm not gonna treat it like a Super Bowl. It's more or less if I binge them, if I hold all of them together, when that break comes, which will be coming here pretty soon.
Season finale.
I won't, the mid-season finales. I won't be, all the way caught up. Like, oh man, I've already watched all of the Flash episodes. Yep. Well, let me watch all the Arrow episodes now. Oh man, I've watched all the Arrow episodes. Well, let me watch DC's Legend of Tomorrow. Yep. Oh, watch that
again. You're saving it for a weekend,
right? And then when those are all done, hey. it's already been a couple weeks of the new episodes after the mid-season finale. So that's my plan. Just kind of keeping them. You know, of course, I'm dreading myself, but I'm kind of proud that I've said I'm not gonna watch any episodes because I'm gonna save them for when I really want to watch them. So that's really that with that. But what about you, man?
Things I'm looking forward to.
With your streams, I heard you.
If for those who don't know or do not follow any stuff that I do stream. All this month I've been streaming spooky games or games that have either the main thing is horror or horror-esque themes. So all began this month. I streamed all of the main campaign of the Fear franchise, Fear 2 and Fear 3. I also did stream the whole entire campaign. I even did New Game Plus for the funsies of Evil Within 2. I streamed 4 hours of Wolfenstein, the new Colossus, and that's been great. I talked about that right at the beginning of the show. Yeah. And I plan on doing that, just using that to finish off through October. In November, I bought a few games from the sale of Steam, and definitely gonna play that. Aside from that, I definitely plan on finishing Stranger Things Season 2. And eventually sometime over the weekend or between this podcast and the next podcast to watch the new Saw movie. I haven't heard great things.
Oh, Jigsaw. Yeah.
People don't look at Saw as a great franchise. I like, not by themselves are not that great. I mean, there is a main story in those, like there is a story within those things, but there's an overarching story between 3 and 7.
Yeah.
Where one is a standalone thing, and that's a great standalone movie. It stands on its own legs. But 2 through 7 is a good arc. If I can edit a movie of my choice, I would edit that just to be the arc and not the gory stuff.
Right.
But that's more or less what I'm looking for aside from games.
So if people wanted to, check you out on your streams, where would they go?
They would go to Mr. McMutton Chops at Twitch. MrMcMuttonchop. I think there's an S or not. Try either or. But I do. If you follow us on Facebook, I do have a set schedule.
Right.
At least I try to be on schedule. Around 10 p.m. on Monday through Thursday. I often do streams on Sunday.
Yep.
And I set up a link on there. I set up a link on my own personal Twitter at Mr. McMutton Shop. Or his name is just Mr. McMutton on Twitter. But yeah, that's my plan.
If you can't catch those streams, you can definitely catch, the record.
The archive.
The archive recorded
I got
version of that
the
stream.
Spookathon.
On YouTube, as well as, for all Helluva content with Mr. McMutton Chops, Larry Fink, or me, K.Barz, or anybody else with the Helluva crew. You can go to all of our social media sites. Instagram, it's a Helluva World. Our Facebook, all you gotta do is put in Helluva, and you should see that great
one last thing I forgot is
H.
One thing I forgot. Sorry, Nerd. I'm also now concurrently doing and hopefully finishing Clive Barker's Jericho, which came out in 2007 or 8. That's been alright.
And doing some retro gaming here, I see.
Well, I mean, the last gen, but I do eventually plan sometime down the road to bring out the PS2. And I would definitely like to sit down with somebody in order to play a few games as well, doing LPs.
Right, yeah, most definitely. I think we should probably sit down and play Cuphead together. I think that would be a fun.
Cuphead, yes.
Yeah.
I call Bugman.
That's fine.
Mugman is a better name than Cuphead, but Cuphead has brand recognition.
Yeah, that's cool, but
it's fun saying Bugman.
Well, it's been real with you folks. I think the next podcast we'll be talking about, of course, the more recent movie that's coming out, Justice League. Definitely want to be looking forward to that. As well as our expectations for 2018, with Black Panther, Infinity Wars, a lot of Deadpool 2. A lot of movies coming out next year that we're going to be looking forward to, and TV shows, and lots and lots of goodies.
Movies, games, stuff.
And Helluva definitely will be premiering a lot of great stuff next year. But
see us at the cons.
Yeah, see you at the cons. But this isn't the last podcast until next year.
Nope.
We're just letting you guys know what's been up, what's been going on, and what's been going around. We hope to hear from you guys here pretty soon. It's been real. Your boy K.Barz here with Larry Fink, and we are signing off.
Back to the caskets.